Hello again from Tom's DIY Garage. You'll notice we're not in the garage. We're kind of on the edge of the street. We're at the foot of my driveway next to my truck because I got a screw stuck in my front right tire here that needs some attention because it's not holding air here. We are dodging some mist and some raindrops, but necessity doesn't always make way for convenience, so we're going to have to muscle through with this. But this is the kind of thing that I think every driver should know how to do. I don't think every driver knows how to do it. If you've never had a flat tire while you're out driving, congratulations. If you have, a couple things you could do. You could call AAA, or you could call your parents, or you could call your significant other to come help. I've been the recipient of that call. Or you can take care of it yourself. You can change the flat. You can put the spare on. You can fix the flat. That's what we're going to talk about here. So let's get to that. And first of all, let me show you what the problem is. So here's the problem right here. It's a tiny little Phillips head screw that's stuck into the treads of the car. Here, I'll squirt some soapy water on here that it'll show you. As the air seeps out, you can see the bubbles kind of blow out here to show you, yep, it's leaking air. So here's the challenge. The tire experts will say that you can only repair, you can plug a tire within the treads. Right here on the shoulder of the tire or here on the sidewall, it's a no-go here because the stability of the tire is compromised here. So right here, we're right on the edge of the shoulder here area. If you go to someplace like Discount Tire, for example, or other tire retailers that will fix a flat for free, which is an awesome service, I'm going to guess they would probably shy away from repairing this. But I think it's close enough within the treads and it's a small enough hole that I think it can be fixed. But after I repair it, I will take it to an expert. I will have the plug assessed. I will make sure that it's solid. And if necessary, I'll bite the bullet and I'll buy a new tire. Nobody wants to do that these days. They're pretty expensive. But for now, we're going to repair this. So let's get through the process and start with taking the tire off. If you've never done this, you'll start with the owner's manual for your vehicle. You'll find it in the glove compartment. That's that flip-down compartment right in front of the passenger seat where you shove a bunch of napkins and God knows only what else in there. Well, there should be one of these as well. It will tell you where the jack is on your vehicle, where the jack gets placed, and the process to lift the vehicle up so you can take that tire, that wheel off. Depending on the vehicle, the jack and the spare tire could be in any number of places. If you have a car or you have an SUV, it's probably in the back underneath the floorboards. In my truck here, the jack is tucked away underneath the front passenger seat. This is the kind of package of equipment that you will find. This is a scissor jack. You spin this and it will lift up, and then there's a lug wrench and some various extenders and that sort of thing to work this. So you want to start by looking in that instruction manual and finding the specific spot where this gets placed so you can lift the vehicle safely, because other places work much, much better, much worse in other cases than others. Before you use the jack though, you want to put on the parking brake so the vehicle doesn't go anywhere backward or forward while you're lifting it up into the air. So the instructions on my truck say that the jack needs to lift the front tire from the inward portion of this support arm that reaches and holds up the tire. So we'll start by kind of getting it in the general area. All right. Then you take this little, looks like a shepherd's crook here, and this gets hooked into the end of the jack, and then you can take your lug wrench. It's got that little hole there that fits conveniently into the extender. And then you start spinning. And lifting slowly until ultimately the tire lifts off the ground. So already the tire is imperceptibly off the ground. I'll go a little bit further, but before you get kind of intimidated by all of this, I can tell you that several years ago, I was driving into work on the Southwest Freeway and I ran into something and I had a tire go down flat just like that. So I'm stuck on the side of the road. I did this dressed for work. It's doable. I just want you to know. When we're talking about lifting the tire off the ground, really that's all you need, just enough clearance so that when you loosen the lug bolts here, you can take the tire off and do what you need to do. So one thing I neglected to show before you lift the front tire, it spins, you know, it's not connected to the motor. So I should have loosened the lug nuts just a little bit before I lifted the vehicle so that when I have the tire off the ground, you know, I'm not just spinning it as I try to, you know, loosen these nuts. So at this point, you can just take them off because they're finger loose, one at a time. Don't lose these, by the way. Keep them all together. Once you have all the lug nuts off, you can grab the wheel, the tire, and slip it off the truck. Just like that. See? Now's when we get to work on the screw that shouldn't be in the tire. But if you were just going to take the flat tire off and put the spare on, now would be the time to do that. Again, every vehicle is different. Cars, SUVs, it's in the back compartment underneath the floorboards of that compartment. On my truck here, spare, there you can see, it's underneath the truck. And there is this little port right here to access it, to lower it down, and then take it around and put it on the truck. But we're going to plug that hole right now. To do that, we've got some pretty simple, easy to use tools, easy to find as well. Walmart, Target, auto supply stores like O'Reilly, that sort of thing. They are tire repair inserts and a couple of tools here to get it into the tire. There's also some cement that makes sure that it's all stuck and sealed and it all becomes rubber again and doesn't let the air out. So let's start by taking the screw out. From this side view, you can get a really good view of it stuck in between the treads. So I'm going to grab a pair of pliers here, grab hold, and since it's threaded, it may need to be unthreaded out of the tire. Now, you can kind of hear it. There, you can hear the air coming out there. There. And there goes the air. Next, you take this tool. It's called a reamer, and it's got this kind of serrated, knobby edge. What you're going to do is you're going to put that into the hole. And you want to make sure that there's basically no debris in there. I'm going to work it in and out. So, and again, the air's coming out. Nothing you can do to stop that. Next, we're going to take the repair insert and the inserting tool here. It looks a lot like the head of a needle there, and if you can see, it's kind of separated there at the end, so once it's into the tire, you can take it out and leave the insert in. So Basically, you want to insert it into the tool. Can be kind of a challenge. There we go. Let's see. So, kind of like you were repairing some clothes, you're just going to repair some tires. And then we'll take some of this cement here, and I want to put a little bit on the insert here so that when it gets inserted into the tire, it kind of all melds together. Just like that. Then we'll go to the hole and you insert that in. Gotta put a little bit of pressure in there too. There you go. So it's in there. You leave, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch out, and then you want to take it out. Tool comes out, the patch stays in. Then you'll carefully trim away the excess. Just like that. Let that be in there, and if you squirt a little bit of that soapy water on there, there is nothing coming out. There are no bubbles. That tire is sealed again. Just for grins, that's the screw that came out. That was enough to cause a flat, potentially ruin a tire, but this has now been patched. We can put it back on the truck and reinflate it, and we'll be good to go. So let's get that process going here. I'm actually going to start by reinflating the tire before we put it back on the truck. 36 pounds of air pressure. The compressor here will kick in just a moment. It'll get loud. But there you go. Takes a little while. Small compressor, big tire. It's important though to check the air pressure as you go along so that you don't overinflate. And so far, not measurable. Bear with it, takes a while. A little over 20. We need the Jeopardy music here if we had it. 36. All right, got an inflated tire. Now let's put it back on the truck. This isn't rocket science here. You've got the lug bolts. They've got to go through the holes on the tire, the wheel, and then you can put the lug nuts on them and lock the tire and wheel on there. You just need to kind of get them so that they are all lined up. Okay, so they're on there very loosely. Now you want to put the lug nuts back on there loosely as well. You might need to, once you get these on there, kind of rock the wheel a little back and forth so it seats all the way onto the receiver here. And you're just finger tightening these lug nuts. And you may notice that I'm kind of alternating around so that you kind of spread the pressure, the force around the wheel as opposed to just one spot. Otherwise you get locked and tilted and then the wheel won't sit correctly. So with the wheel back on, we're gonna lower the jack counterclockwise on this particular one, and they may all be standardized, but on this one, this jack, that lowers. Take the jack out, finish collapsing it so that it lays flat so you can put it back right where you found it. Before you drive off, you need to tighten all of those lug nuts correctly. Not just finger tighten like we did to put the wheel back on. Again, just as we did as we were finger tightening the lug nuts around the wheel, we're going to use the lug wrench to do the same thing and put a good torque on it. But we want to skip around across, boom, 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 and kind of spread the pressure around, if that makes sense. As always, righty-tighty. All right, I think that's all of them, but I'm going to check them again real quick. Yes. 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 And yes. All tightened, ready to go again. So with the job done, a couple of thoughts here. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. You know, if AAA can come and help you, great. If mom or dad or your spouse or a friend can come help you, great. They're not always going to be available, so you do need to be able to be self-sufficient, DIY-ish. So hopefully this can kind of walk you through how easy a process this is. It's not necessarily clean. You might get a little sweaty, but if you're stuck on the side of the road and you're left with do nothing and stay there forever until somebody comes and takes pity on you, or taking care of yourself, I'm going to go with taking care of myself. So I hope this inspires just a little bit. Oh, by the way, the little screw that we took out of the tire, when you find whatever's causing the problem, throw it away so it doesn't become a problem for you or someone else again. So this is going in the trash. It will not cause another flat. Gosh only knows what else is out there. But things you can do yourself in the garage or out of the garage. Let me know what you think. Hit me up on the Facebook, the Twitter, the /X, email as well. You know I monitor them all. Let me know what you thought about this or anything else. You got a challenge, you got a question, let me know. If I don't know the answer immediately, I will find it and we will solve it together in Tom's DIY Garage. Rock on with your bad selves. I'm Tom. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.